fight for everything that we deserve, but at the same time, like, we need to play basketball. That's what our fans crave, and that's what all of you crave as well, is you want the product on the floor. And at the end of the day, that's how you make the money, that's how you're marketable, that's what the fans get excited about, that's what the fans want to show up for. So, you know, it's business and it's a negotiation, and there has to be compromise on both sides. And, you know, we're starting to get down to the wire of it, and it's become really important. And, you know, obviously I want to help in any way I can, and I've tried to educate myself the best I can. Obviously I can't speak to every single.
Those 30 seconds, they're the most crucial the WNBA will hear all season. While everyone's been distracted by the back and forth drama of CBA negotiations, Caitlin Clark cuts straight to the point with a single powerful message. We cannot afford to get this wrong, and she couldn't be more right.
And today, you guys, WNBA fans are so excited because Caitlin Clark is finally back on the court playing basketball, and it seems like she is 100%. She is going 5v5. Team USA is currently holding their training camp, so all the ladies will be in Durham this weekend training. As you can see, the roster here: Lauren Betts, Aaliyah Boston, Cam Brink, Paige Beckers, Veronica Burton, Sonia Citron, Caitlin Clark, Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Dearica Hamby, Kiki Ariafen, Rakia Jackson, Brianna Jones, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Juju Watkins, and Jack.
December 2024, Team USA's training camp in Durham. 16 of the top talents in women's basketball have come together with one goal: preparing for the 2026 FIBA World Cup. But there's a looming issue that no one can ignore. If the WNBA and its Players Association don't resolve the CBA situation by January 9th, there may not even be a 2026 season for these athletes to return to. This isn't exaggeration, this is the reality they're facing. The roster reads like a dream lineup: Lauren Jackson, Brianna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Paige Buchers, and of course, Caitlin Clark. But this camp isn't just about showing off skills on the court. It's unfolding at one of the most pivotal moments in WNBA history, and the words these players speak off the court could carry more weight than their performance on it.
But I think there are different things that we can find ways to say, no, like, we certainly deserve that and we're not going to compromise on that, and then other things that we can probably compromise on. But like I said, like, this is the biggest moment in the history of the WNBA, and I don't want that to be forgotten. Similar, like, it's important that we find a way to, you know, play this next season, and I think our fans and even everybody that has played in this league that has come before us deserve that.
Listen to how she puts it. This isn't just a big moment for the league, it's the biggest moment in NIST WNBA history. And then she immediately shifts focus to what truly matters, making sure there's a season to play next year. Caitlin Clark gets something that apparently needs to be said out loud. A league can't grow if it's not playing games. Think back a year ago. The 2024 season hadn't even tipped off. No one knew if Caitlin Clark could make the jump to the pro level. Angel Reese was still a mystery as a professional. The league was averaging about 6,500 fans per game. Fast forward to today, and the Indiana Fever alone is pulling in over 17,000 per game. That's not small growth, that's a total game changer. What makes Caitlin's words hit even harder is that she's not just talking about basketball, she's calling out the business reality that seems to be getting overlooked in these negotiations. The WNBA just had its biggest year ever. TV ratings jumped 70%, new media deals totaling $2.2 billion over 11 years were signed, and expansion franchise fees hit $50 million. This is the kind of momentum every professional league dreams of, and she's reminding everyone what's truly at stake.
Can we just give it up for Caitlin Clark's answer? Thank you, Caitlin. This is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, and it's not something that can be messed up. I feel like I have been screaming this at the top of my lungs through all of the messiness that has happened over the past 2 seasons in the WNBA. You have a moment right now in women's basketball, and specifically in the WNBA. You have a boom that we have never seen in the history of this league. Do whatever you can to not mess it up, and they've already done multiple things that is like shooting themselves.
And there it is, the hard truth no one wants to hear right now. Compromise is unavoidable. The players are asking for charter flights for every team, not just playoff squads. They want a bigger slice of revenue. They want higher salaries across the board, and they absolutely deserve it. The real question isn't whether they deserve it, it's whether enough of it can be delivered in time to prevent a work stoppage that could derail everything the league has built. At the same training camp, Kelsey Plum made a telling comment. She admitted the CBA negotiations have been discouraging and that the two sides remain far apart. That was December 2024, with a January 9th deadline fast approaching. There's very little time to close. Such a massive gap. Unlike the NBA, which can survive a lockout thanks to its established fan base and billion-dollar infrastructure, the WNBA doesn't have that buffer. This league is still laying its foundation. You can't afford to hit pause when the building is only halfway up.
That is playing against them. Kelsey Plum off the screen, kicks to Caitlin Clark for 3. Caitlin Clark up the court. Another 3. Caitlin Clark off the screen, another 3. Her shot looks really good. There were other photos of her going around, I feel like the past couple weeks also, saying that it looks like she dropped some of the muscle that she did gain before last season. It's hard to tell. To be honest, you guys, I'm not really like body watching Caitlin.
Watch this sequence closely. This is exactly why fans have been craving WNBA action all off season. Caitlin Clark hasn't played a competitive game since September 25th, 2024, when the Fever fell to the Connecticut Sun in the first round of the playoffs. That's more than 2 months without any Caitlin Clark basketball, and the absence has been felt. But check her movement here. Her footwork is precise. Her shot release is effortless. There's zero hesitation. All the questions about whether she added too much muscle in her rookie season, or whether that led to her plantar fasciitis and other soft tissue injuries, suddenly feel irrelevant when you see her move like this. She looks comfortable, she looks fully healthy, and day 6, most importantly, she looks like she's having fun.
Like that, you know, we had the photos last year from Media Day when she was like flexing and all that, and you could clearly see that she had put on a lot of muscle, but it's hard to tell here, so I'm not really going to comment on it. But there were some fans that were saying it looks like she dropped some of the muscle that she put on, and a lot of people were wondering if that is why she had so many soft tissue injuries during last season, but again, I don't know, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And here's another clip, you guys, of Caitlin Clark's signature 3. She's dribbling the ball up the court, goes to her left, step back 3.
Paige Bucher sidesteps Caitlin Clark for the game winner, and of course, the clip went viral. Instantly, the Caitlin Clark critics pounced on it like it proved some narrative. But here's what they're missing. This is exactly what fans crave. 2 generational talents battling it out in a pure, competitive setting. No manufactured drama, no social media feuds, just elite basketball. The dynamic between Caitlin and Paige is electric because they took different paths to reach the same stage. Caitlin entered the league as the most hyped rookie in WNBA history and lived up to it, thriving despite intense physical play and constant criticism, solidifying herself as a bona fide star. Paige is stepping in next year with equally high expectations, but her game is different. She's a more versatile defender and thrives within a team system. That contrast in style makes their head-to-head matchups irresistible. But the bigger picture is clear. This training camp, these scrimmages, this content, that's the lifeblood of the WNBA. A work stoppage would wipe all of it out. No games mean no highlights. No highlights mean no viral moments. No viral moments mean casual fans never become Tano, hardcore supporters. And just like that, the league's growth engine stalls.
And this is the kind of basketball that so many WNBA fans have been missing. And there's another clip that is also currently going viral, and it's Paige Buecher's sidestep 3 on Caitlin Clark. And now obviously the Caitlin Clark haters are loving this, but I also love this too. I love to see 2 great players like Paige, like Caitlin, playing either on the same team or against one another. But check this out. So there's a long rebound here. Paige gets it, pump fake, sidestep, drains the 3, and that is game.
Angel Reese posting up with Paige Buchers trying to cut off Caitlin Clark. Jackie Young rotating over to provide help. This is the kind of defensive complexity critics said the WNBA lacked, and yet here it is, fully on display in a practice setting with players who've barely had time to gel. The defensive attention Caitlin demands is real, even in a scrimmage. Even when teammates aren't going full force, you can see how much effort it takes to contain her. Paige is denying the pass, Jackie Young is shading over for help, and this is all without a fully structured defensive scheme. Imagine the intensity at playoff level. This is exactly why the Caitlin Clark can't play defense narrative is so misleading. Watch her. Positioning, she's not reaching for steals or gambling. She stays in front of her assignment, funnels players into help defense, and plays solid fundamental basketball. Is she an elite defender? No, but she's competent. And for a player who carries the offensive load she does, competent defense is more than enough.
Our team, we'll just call them Team Gray right here in Team USA training camp. But it is so interesting because so many outlets are picking up this clip and it's like, oh, Paige Bueckers drains a three in Caitlin Clark's face. And she did. She absolutely did. But this is fun. I just love to see all these young players out there.
Here's what this moment truly represents. Players from different teams, backgrounds, and draft. Classes all united by one goal, representing Team USA, competing at the highest level and IBUN. Playing for their country. The energy is electric. You see it in how they celebrate big plays. You see it in how they fight for every possession. This is what women's basketball looks like when it closes. Gets the platform it deserves. But let's tie this back to the CBA situation. All of this excitement, all of this momentum, it could vanish if there's no 2026 season. Team USA will still exist and players will continue training, but the foundation that makes moments like this possible, the WNBA itself, would take a major hit. What makes this CBA negotiation so delicate is the imbalance in consequences. Both sides have valid points, but the stakes aren't equal. If the players push too hard and trigger a work stoppage, they risk losing a year of prime earning potential. If the league resists player demands, it risks a strike that could crush fan interest and damage player relationships permanently. The players' requests are reasonable on paper. They want charter flights for every team, not just playoff squads. Currently, the WNBA allows charters for back-to-back games and playoffs, but most regular season travel is commercial. Meanwhile, the NBA has had full charter access for years. The WNBA is asking players to perform at an elite level while enduring long flights, layovers, and the physical toll of commercial travel. It's simply not sustainable. They're also asking for a bigger revenue share. The current CBA, agreed to in 2020, doesn't guarantee a fixed split like the NBA's 50/50 model. Instead, it uses a complex formula, paying players the greater of 50% of league revenue or a set dollar amount. Players want more clarity and a larger piece of the pie, with the league signing new media deals worth $200 million annually starting in 2026. Their timing makes sense. But here's where it gets tricky. The WNBA, according to Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, has operated at a loss for most of its existence, subsidized by the NBA to the tune of tens of millions each year. Some analysts argue the league's accounting is conservative and that the WNBA may be more profitable than it claims. Even taking the numbers at face value, the league is still, navigating tight financial realities. The players argue, and probably correctly, that you have to spend money to grow money. Investing in charter flights, better salaries, and improved working conditions will pay off in performance, fan experience, and overall league growth. The real question is whether the league can afford that investment now, or if it needs another year or two of revenue growth before committing. What makes Caitlin Clark's comments so significant is that she's acknowledging the tension without undermining the players' demands. She's not saying they don't deserve better pay, charter flights, or improved conditions. She's pointing out that the cost of not playing might outweigh the cost of compromise, a perspective grounded in both business and maturity that everyone at the negotiating table could benefit from adopting. Consider what's at stake. The 2024 WNBA season averaged 1.2 million viewers for nationally, televised games up from 440,000 just a year earlier. The finals drew 1.63 million viewers, the highest since 2012. Attendance jumped 48% year over year. These aren't small gains, they're explosive growth, fueled by stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But growth in women's not mentioned. Sports is fragile. Momentum can vanish quickly if the product isn't consistently available. The con: National Women's Soccer League learned this the hard way. After building excitement in 2021, front office scandals and inconsistent scheduling caused viewership to plummet, and it took 2 years to recover. The WNBA cannot afford that kind of setback. Expansion adds another layer of urgency. San Francisco joins the league in 2025, with Portland and Toronto planned soon after. Each expansion team paid $50 million, signaling investor confidence. But those bets rely on continuity. Investors are counting on Caitlin Clark, Angel, Reese, and Paige Buchers being on the court, generating headlines and driving ticket sales. Work stoppage threatens all of that. Caitlin Clark has shown her commitment to the league repeatedly. She's turned down multiple lucrative opportunities, Ice Cube's Big 3 League, overseas play, even certain endorsements to focus on building the WNBA. She's chosen partners aligned with growing women's basketball, not just maximizing personal income. When someone with that level of dedication says, "We need to find a way to play," it demands attention. The January 9th deadline is real. Without a new CBA, the current agreement expires, opening the door to a lockout or a strike. Once work stoppages begin, relationships between players and league management can become toxic. Trust erodes, and even when an agreement is eventually reached, the scars remain. The solution is compromise. Meaningful, real compromise from both sides. Players must identify their non-negotiables while being willing to phase in other demands, maybe full charter flights. For all teams aren't feasible in 2026, but partial access with a path to full access by 2028 could. Perhaps revenue share doesn't reach 50% immediately, but gradually scales up over the profession stage. CBA's life. The league, meanwhile, must acknowledge that these athletes aren't asking for handouts. They are elite professionals generating real revenue and growing the fan base. Treating them as anything less undermines the WNBA's credibility. What Caitlin Clark did at that Team USA press conference was a reality check. She reminded everyone what truly matters: playing basketball, growing the game, and building on the momentum they've created. Negotiation tactics, public posturing, and short-term politics are secondary to that mission. If the WNBA and Players Association fail to protect this moment, letting ego or stubbornness take precedence, it could go down as one of the biggest missteps in sports history. The next few weeks will shape the trajectory of women's basketball for the next decade. Will the WNBA capitalize on the incredible growth of 2024? Or will a work stoppage alienate fans and damage the brand? Will players secure the conditions and pay they deserve, or be forced to choose between principle and career? These are the questions that matter, and Caitlin Clark just laid out the answer: find a way. At the end of the day, it's about the game, the fans, and the Fanebotters. Future of women's basketball. Everything else is just noise.